I am Jaero, and welcome back to Chemistry, where we research and experiment and even study all about chemistry. In today's topic, we will be showing and studying the different steps or methods of separation of mixtures. In today's experiment, we have three. Number one, we separate the mixture of the different sizes and types of gravels or even stones. Number two, we will be separating the mixture of mud, the dirt, the gravel, the sand, the water, and even some grass or plant. And lastly, number three, we will separate the mixture of sand and soil. And before we proceed on all those experiments, let us show the materials and tools we will be using. Okay, now that the materials and tools are out of the way, let me share of how I gathered some tools and materials. Transition to Vlogger Jaero in 3, 2, 1. Hi guys! Right now I am in the tricycle and I am on my way to buy the materials for the experiment later. So yeah, see you there! So yeah, right now I am about to find the surgical gloves for the experiment later so that we can be safe from the germs or dirt later. And I'm gonna find a scoop later to use it to scoop the other materials like mud, rock later. I'll show you later. Okay, bye! So yeah, I am across the municipal building now and I have bought a pair of gloves now. So next, we will find the scoop material later. Okay, see you! Okay, update, I have found the scoop thing, this. Gonna use it later to find the material. And now I'm gonna find the plastic bottles for the materials. Okay, bye! Okay, I am on my way home now and I think I see the plastic bottles now. Okay, yes. We will use these later. Yeah, bye! Okay, now that we've finished to find and buy some tools in our experiment, now we will find the materials like the gravel, the sand, the rocks, and the water which is in our house, and table salt too. Okay, see you later. Okay, we already have a cup of mud. Now, next we will get some gravel across the road. Okay? Bye. Okay, we have arrived now to the location of the gravels. Okay, let me put my camera first. Okay. Okay, for the rocks, we already have it in here in our house. So I'm just gonna shovel it in. Okay, now I am in the riverside. Then we will get the sand in here and some rocks. So yeah, let's go. Okay, we have gathered now the different materials that we will use in our experiment later. We have the sand, the rocks. I will find more rocks later. The gravel and the mud. Then we have the plastic bottles and the other tools later. Okay, back to you, Jaero. Okay, thank you, Vlogger Jaero. Okay, now let's proceed on our experiments. Okay, friends, let's start now in our first experiment. Okay, in our first experiment, we have our different materials here. First are the larger rocks. You can see it here. Then the gravels, which shows the smaller rocks. And then lastly we have the sand. In doing this experiment, we need this large plastic bowl. Please zoom in, Miss Camera Woman. Okay, well, you can see the sand is already here. It's kind of moist already. And then we start by mixing all those three materials. First, we add the larger rocks into the plastic bowl. Okay, and then we add or we mix the gravels inside it, which is the smaller rocks. Gravel. Okay, now let's mix it. That's a mixture of the different types or different sizes of rocks. Okay, please zoom in. Okay, now this is our mixture. Specifically, it is a heterogeneous mixture. Okay, so how do we separate this mixture? First, we do the mechanical separation where we use our hand manually. First, we get the larger rocks. We separate it to the gravel and sand. The larger rocks first, so that it is easy. After we separated the bigger rocks, what's left are the gravel and the sand. Now, this is where we use our tweezer, where we get the gravel, the smaller rocks. Now we use the tweezer to get the smaller rocks. Okay, please camera please zoom in. Now this is the output after doing the mechanical separation. Now this is the sand. The only hindrance in this first experiment, the sand is kind of moist, so that it's hard to separate the super little rocks into it. But if the sand is not moist, you can use this strainer in straining or separating the sand and the littlest friend. That is for our first experiment. Moving on, this is our second experiment where we mix the gravel, the dirt, and then we have our plants or the grass. Then lastly, we add our water in it. Okay? First, we add the dirt into the first plastic bottle. We cut it first in half. Okay? Add the dirt. Okay. Then next, we add the gravel in it. Please zoom. And now, lastly, we add the water. Second to the last. The water. Okay, there. Then we add some grass in it for the plants. Okay, we zoom. Now this is the mixture of dirt, the gravel, the water, and a plant. Okay, first in separating this, we remove the plant by mechanical separation again by using our hands. There. Transport the water to another or the second plastic bottle by decantation, where we slowly pour the water into the second one. Slowly but surely, guys. Make sure that it is only the water because the solid particles are in the bottom of the mixture. Again, this is a heterogeneous mixture. Okay. Okay, now we have our funnel and our tissue paper. We don't have a filter paper because, budget reasons. But sometimes being a chemist needs to be resourceful. So, a tissue paper is an alternative to it. Okay, we wrap the tissue paper into the funnel. Then, we attach it to the third plastic bottle. Then, we slowly pour the liquid from this second to the third or to the last one. Slowly but surely. If you see some residue, you can just manual separate it by your hand. Then, dito ka, please, to the bottom so that they can see. Slowly but surely, so that the tissue won't soak already. See, it is a clear water, unlike this one, right? Again, and again. There. The ones that will remain in this will be called the residue, and then this clear water will be called the filtrate. Okay, let's go. The process that you just saw earlier is what we call the filtration. Okay, Miss Camerawoman. In this one, you can see this is the residue or from the dirt, and then this is the clearer water, which is we call the filtrate. And that's how we separate our second experiment. And that's all for our second experiment. Now we have come to our final one. Okay, we mix first the sand and the salt. Now, you wonder, how do we separate sand and salt when it is mixed? Do we hand-pick it? Okay, no. First, we dissolve salt because this is soluble material. Okay, now let's get 1 scoop of each material. First is the sand, which is kind of nice again. Pour it here. Then, let's first the spoon, then we add the salt that we will be dissolving. Let's mix it. Add water. Okay, and then we mix until the salt is dissolved. Okay, now we transport this water to this cup. So you can see the salt already. So, then of course the sand will not. Okay, let's do some sand. And then mix it. Now again, we did the filter with the tissue paper, and then we slowly pour again this mixture to the other. Slowly again. There, it's dropping now. That's on our last experiment. As we can see, the filtrate is already a clear salt solution, and then the residue you can see already. Okay, so what are our conclusions in today's experiment or activity? Okay, first, we showed different types of separation of mixture. Number 1, we use hand or the manual separation using hands, or the tweezers, which we also call the mechanical separation. Then next, we also use decantation. Then third, lastly, we use the filtration, where we use the tissue paper as our filter paper. And second, in doing experiments, we should be resourceful. Like this, we use tissue paper. Lastly, always remember that you should learn, and there are other types of separation of mixtures methods, like again the magnetism separation, the evaporation, and other methods of separation. Okay, that's all everyone, and I am Jaero, and see you again for the next episode of J Mystery. Goodbye!